who am I? A far from perfect guy. A bum who wants to do what's right, but often does what's wrong. A kid whose voice is way off key, but loves to sing a song. A guy who dreams like a lion, but wakes up like a lamb. Me, who am I but the guy I am? That's who I.
His Royal Highness Christopher Rupert, Slayer of Dragons, pitiless to ogres, destroyer of griffins and giants, no friend to gargoyles, nice to the needy, sportsman and poet, a guy who dreams like a lion, but wakes up like a lamb.
Me, who am I but the guy I am?
He's our hero, such perfection. He's the kind of guy who we'd all like to be. What's the use of self-reflection? Church bells will ring when you are king. People will sing, there is no one quite like me. Royal Highness,
who am I? A far
Slayer of dragons,
perfect guy. A jerk who wants to do what's right, but often does what's wrong. A drag whose voice is way off key, but loves to sing a song. A guy who dreams like a lion, but wakes up like a lamb. Me, who am I but the guy I am? Yes, that's who
what a guy, what a guy, what a guy.
The prince is giving a ball.
The prince is giving a ball. The prince is giving a ball.
His Royal Highness Christopher Rupert, Windermere, Vladimir, Karl Alexander, Francois, Reginald, Lancelot, Herman, Gregory James is giving a ball.
The prince is giving a ball. The prince is giving a ball.
Our doctor's looking dreamy-eyed.
The prince is giving a ball.
They say he wants to find a bride. He may find one at the ball. If only he'd propose to me. I pray that he'll propose to me.
Why shouldn't he propose to me?
The prince is giving a ball. The prince is giving a ball.
His Royal Highness Christopher Rupert, son of Her Majesty Queen Constantina, Charlotte, Ermentrude, Guinevere, Maisie, Marguerite Anne is giving a ball.
The prince is giving a ball. The prince is giving a ball.
I wish that I were nice and neat.
I wish I were demure and sweet.
I wish I were an older girl.
I wish I were a younger girl.
I wish I were an older girl.
The prince is giving a ball. The I'm as mild and as meek as a mouse. When I hear a command, I obey. But I know of a spot in my house where no one can stand in my way. In my own little corner, in my own little chair, I can be whatever I want to be. On the wing of my fancy, I can fly anywhere, and the world will open its arms to me. I'm a young Norwegian princess or a milkmaid. I'm the greatest prima donna in Milan. I'm an heiress who has always had her silk made by her own flock of silkworms in Japan. I'm a girl men go mad for, love's a game I can play with a cool and confident kind of air. Just as long as I stay in my own little corner, all alone in my own little chair. I can be whatever I want to be. I'm a slave in Calcutta, I'm a queen in Peru, I'm a mermaid dancing upon the sea. I'm a huntress on an African safari. It's a dangerous type of sport, and yet it's fun. In the night I sally forth to seek my quarry, and I find I forgot to bring my gun. I am lost in the jungle, all alone and unarmed, when I meet the lioness in her lair. Then I'm glad to be back in my own little corner, all alone in my own little chair.
Your Majesties,
Your Majesties,
a list of the bare necessities.
A list of the bare necessities? For what?
For 1,700 guests.
That seems a lot. Don't have any king crab.
Very well, Your Majesty.
I hate to see that written on a menu. King crab. Seems like a comment on my disposition.
1,000
1,000 baby lobsters for the salad.
Wow!
And 500 pheasant for the pie.
Aye, aye!
1,000 pounds of caviar.
1,000?
Hush!
It's more than the sturgeon can supply.
I told the steward to get us 40 acres of lettuce and 600 suckling pigs for roasting.
What about the marshmallows?
Who wants marshmallows?
I do.
Why?
For toasting.
Surely you need a side of ham and lots of beef fillets.
Some marmalade steaks, a rack of lamb, and veal you raise to braise.
Limburger cheese and gourmandise, Gouda, Gruyere, and blue.
Chunks of Swiss and barrels, please.
Make sure it's holy, too.
Pudding and pies and rum souffle, succulent chocolate rounds.
Cream puffs we can eat all day.
To gain some royal pounds.
Falderall and fiddle-dee-dee, fiddle-dee-faddle-dee-faddle. All the wishes in the world are poppycock and twaddle.
Godmother, I am so glad to see you. I didn't hear you come in.
I just knew I would find you in that same little chair, in the pale pink mist of a foolish dream.
Foolish? What's wrong with dreaming?
Falderall and fiddle-dee-dee, fiddle-dee-faddle-dee-foodle. All the dreamers in the world are dizzy in the noodle. Impossible for a plain yellow pumpkin to become a golden carriage. Impossible for a plain country bumpkin and a prince to join in marriage. And 4 white mice will never be 4 white horses. Such falderall and fiddle-dee-dee, of course, is impossible. But the world is full of zanies and fools who don't believe in sensible rules and won't believe what sensible people say. And because these daft and dewy-eyed dopes keep building up impossible hopes, impossible things are happening every day. Impossible.
Impossible?
Impossible. Impossible. Impossible.
Impossible.
Impossible.
Is that true, Godmother? that impossible things are happening every day?
Well, yes, in a way, but
the world is full of zanies and fools who don't believe in sensible rules and won't believe what sensible people say. And because these daft and dewy-eyed dopes keep building up impossible hopes, impossible things are happening every day. It's possible for a plain yellow pumpkin to become a golden carriage. It's possible for a plain country bumpkin and a prince to join in marriage. And four white mice are easily turned to horses. Such folderol and fiddly-dee, of course, is quite possible. It's possible, for the world is full of zanies and fools who don't believe in sensible rules and won't believe what sensible people say. And because these daft and dewy-eyed dopes keep building up impossible hopes, impossible things are happening every day. It's possible. 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 Impossible. Things are happening every day.
exhilarating, isn't it?
I'm afraid our son is having a worse time than I am.
I've lost track of the prince.
He's dancing with joy.
Is he? Oh, that Joy. I want a shot at him.
Your Highness, may I say something personal?
Yes?
I think...
You think...
Very nice weather for this time of year.
You really should not be so personal.
But my mother told me to say something personal to you.
Perhaps you should return to your mother for further instructions.
I'm gonna be a lawyer, just like my namesake in Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice. Her name was Portia, too.
Really?
Yep. Someday I'll stand up in the courtroom and say something about how, like, the quality of mercy is not strained. Know what I mean?
I'm afraid I do.
The party is beginning to look better.
I wonder who she is.
Watching him dance with that lovely creature, you know, it takes me back.
To where?
To the first time I danced with you, my darling.
I have a strange feeling that something has just happened to me, and I don't know what it is.
That's exactly the way I feel.
Do you have any idea what it might be?
No,
Well, let's think back over our history together.
it isn't very long, is it?
10 minutes ago, I saw you. I looked up when you came through the door. My head started reeling. You gave me the feeling the room had no ceiling or floor. 10 minutes ago, I met you, and we murmured our how do you do's. I wanted to ring out the bells and fling out my arms and to sing out the news. I have found her, she's an angel with the dust of the stars in her eyes. We are dancing, we are flying, and she's taking me back to the skies. In the arms of my love I'm flying, over mountain and meadow and glen. And I like it so well that for all I can tell, I may never come down again. I may never come down to earth again. I have told you how I feel, but you haven't described your feelings.
Well, they are very much the same as yours. 10 minutes ago I met you, and we murmured our how do you do's. I wanted to ring out the bells and fling out my arms and to sing out the news. I have found him, I have found him. In the arms of my love I'm flying,
and fluffy beauty. Why can't a fellow ever once prefer a solid girl like me? She's a frothy little bubble with a flimsy kind of charm, and with very little trouble I could break her little arm. Ow! Ow! Why would a fellow want a girl like her, so obviously unusual? Why can't a fellow ever once prefer a usual girl like me?
Her cheeks are a pretty shade of pink,
but not any pinker than a rose is.
her skin may be delicate and soft,
But not any softer than a doe's is.
her neck is no wider than a swan's.
She's only as dainty as a daisy. She's only as graceful as a bird. So why is the fellow going crazy? Oh, why would a fellow want a girl like her? A girl who's merely lovely. Why can't a fellow ever once prefer a girl who's merely me? What's the matter with the man? What's the matter with the man? What's the matter with the man? Yes, he's witty, so disarming, and I really like the way he holds a room. Clever, cunning, ever charming. How do I make him see I'm special? It's a pity. I'm as pretty. Plus I've got the patience of a perfect saint. So I'm waiting, always waiting. Nevertheless, I'm in a mess. Loosen my dress. Help me, I'm starting to faint. Why would a fellow want a girl like her? A girl who is a daisy. Why can't a fellow ever once prefer a high-strung girl like me? Her cheeks are a pretty shade of pink, but not any pinker than a rose is. Her skin may be delicate and soft, but not any softer than a doe's is. Her neck is no wider than a swan's. She's only as dainty as a daisy. She's only as graceful as a bird. So why is the fella going crazy? Oh, why would a fellow want a girl like her? A girl who's merely lovely. Why can't a fellow ever once prefer a girl who's merely me? What's the matter with the man? What's the matter with the man? What's the matter with the man? She's the matter, let me at her! What's the matter with the man? What's the matter with the man? What's the matter with the man? What's the matter with the man?
The ballroom is too crowded.
It's nicer out here.
Yes, it is.
I really must be going.
But why?
Because I promised my godmother.
Your godmother will forgive you if you're a little late.
is floating in the air. If you're suddenly confronted by His Highness, you are frozen like a statue on the stair. You're afraid He'll hear the way your heart is beating, and you know you mustn't make the first advance. You are seriously thinking of retreating. Then you seem to hear Him asking you to dance. A lovely night, a lovely night, a finer night you know you'll never see. You meet your prince, a charming prince, as charming as a prince will ever be. The stars in a hazy heaven tremble above you, while he's whispering, "Darling, I love you." You say goodbye, away you fly, but on your lips you keep a kiss. All your life you'll dream of this lovely, lovely night. A lovely night, a lovely night, a finer night you know you'll never see. You meet your prince, a charming prince, as charming as a prince will ever be. The stars in a hazy heaven tremble above you, while he is whispering, "Darling, I love you." You say goodbye, away you fly, but on your lips you keep a kiss. All your life you'll dream of this lovely, lovely
up impossible hopes impossible. Things are happening every